Hey everybody, welcome to We Got Issues episode 2. Today I am joined with Angela Outlaw, William White, and Maggie Curtis. Now Angela and Maggie, they work in the comic book retailing industry over at Comicopia. We're joined with William White to offer a male perspective on today's topic about women in comics. Will's been a long time comic reader. Since when, Will? What do you think?
92-ish.
92-ish. All right, well, back in June of this year, DC kind of really changed the game a little bit by changing Wonder Woman's costume. Now, this is the first kind of real official Wonder Woman change since about, 1941. And here is a quote from J. Michael Straczynski. He's talking about the Wonder Woman comic book change. She's been locked into pretty much the exact same outfit since her debut in 1941. If you're going to make a statement about bringing Wonder Woman into the 21st century, you need to be bold and you need to make it visual. I wanted to toughen her up and give her a modern sensibility. So today's issue is going to be all about talking about women in comics and how they're perceived. So what are your thoughts about J. Michael Straczynski's comments?
Well, no offense to him, but if you want to, first of all, Wonder Woman doesn't need to be toughened up because she's Wonder Woman. She's like the toughest bitch in the world. And this is not the way you want to do it. I should just, it's not, it's too 90s, it's too boring. I mean, it's not fashion forward, and again, I'll say it as many times as I have to. Comic creators should never mess with fashion. They just shouldn't. I mean, if it's not their strong point, it's just get a professional if you have to. Fashion, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Well, you know it's pretty big news when the fact that the New York Times actually had a story about it when they first did the costume change.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it's big when it's kind of entering into the news media, which kind of touch backs on the first episode we did about comic books, being sort of mainstream. So it's big when it's getting other people's attention.
Well, she's iconic. I want to say Wonder Woman may be the single most iconic female character, which unfortunately isn't saying much. Women are underrepresented in comics, so when you have pretty much one of the only recognizable female characters undergoing such a radical change, yeah, it's news. But it's just I think it's representational of the endemic problem in comics. There are just not enough, or mainstream comics at least, there are not enough front and center, interesting female characters. And it's a problem at DC, but it's even a worse problem at Marvel. DC at least has a few writers, a handful of characters that are really brought front and center. They have a couple ongoing female-driven books. Batwoman was getting a lot of praiseworthy buzz lately. I'm sorry. Gotham City Sirens, a few other titles. In Marvel, they really got nothing.
They're trying with girls comics and heroes.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's almost ghettoizing it, though.
It's really.
It's just you just produce the
stop.
most subpar product and really pushing it at that sort of tweener market, the young girls, and it's just not that good. That's not what's going to draw them in. You need to make driven, focused characters, make them characters first, and then make them, then they're women, so make that part of the character, not just hey, it's Spider-Man with boobs. That's not a good way.
Well, with Wonder Woman, first of all, they made her boobs 3 times bigger.
Yeah,
They gave her horrible pants, and then they gave her this jacket. It has shoulder pads on it. Why didn't they just give her a pantsuit or something? It's awful.
I can never see the back. Oh, it's one of the short
cropped
cropped things.
It's something that's for street fight. She looks like she's a street fighter.
Well, I think that was I don't know.
It's just the stupidest thing. And then they put the band under her hair, and so then she has to have this awful hair that moves around. You can see it, and it's just terrible. It's awful.
Well, that's the thing. If they want to make a practical, why isn't she not wearing
This is not practical.
military fatigues or something something
then-
you're actually supposed to work in? This is.
I don't know. And then they give her this thing in the back. She has this in her butt. She has this thing that goes into a crack, kind of.
No,
What is
to
up
me,
with that?
if you want to make Wonder Woman's costume more practical, just give her some straps. That's it. That's all you
Seriously.
need because she's Wonder Woman, and the idea women
Or some tights.
or just some leggings. I don't know, something like
Yeah, they give her leggings. So
something. Just yeah.
Why is it, do you think, that they seem to be covering her up? You know what I mean? They're covering her legs, shoulders. What do you think they're trying to do there?
Well, I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to make that make it known that they're oh, we respect women. So it's cover them up a little bit more because we respect them. But the problem is, it's women do not have a problem being sexy. We don't at all. You know, it's just the idea of us being these just like one-dimensional, like nothings. You know, we
Yeah.
don't.
Well, the thing is, like, it's like, well, like, are they really covering up? I mean, they're like like before she's wearing like a bustier, and now it's like her boobs are all showing. It's like what, like legs? Like you can't show legs now? What is this like?
Well, I mean, that's
like the
they're not.
pilgrims or something? Like, come on, like this
We
is
were-
so stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
We were looking at this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
They're not covering much up here. This
Yeah.
is like 3 panels of ass shot. This is nothing.
That's what I'm talking. And that
With the
thing goes in-
prostitute.
Yeah,
That's
and then
Yeah.
like she's like fighting for prostitutes.
And that's the thing. It's like
fighting
they're
pimps
hooker,
in Harlem.
Wonder Woman.
That's what-
I
that's what
can't
this is.
differentiate.
You know, I've say it a million times. That's what she looks like. And then when she's wearing like black pants, it's like, oh, like at least like the star underwear, like it disguises stuff. You know what I mean? It's hard to see, like, you know, like the crack. You know, it's hard to see. But when you have like all black, it's just like the leggings, they go in your butt. It's just like, come on. It's like you just have her run around naked, you know, with like a terrible jacket. Like, you know, if she didn't have the jacket, I think I could have been okay. It's the jacket. No, it's my problem is the jacket. It's the jacket.
The
I hate
shoulder
it.
pads.
It's
The
definitely-
shoulder pads.
It
Like,
has
what
a,
is that?
It has a 90s feel to it, doesn't it?
Very
It's so
90s.
ugly in 90s. Like I like I like neon. Like I like how like neon stuff from the 90s coming back. That's cool. But it's freaking shoulder pads. Come on. Like I said, they should just made her wear a pantsuit fighting crimes.
And she
I would
doesn't-
like to see that. I'm gonna draw it myself.
And they're trying to make it look like as if they're like protecting her shoulders somehow. Like they're like I don't know.
Okay, your shoulders. That's what. Let's ignore the great vessels in your
Yeah,
chest.
if you're an Amazonian woman, you don't. Why of
Look
all
at that
things shoulder
picture. Look at
protection?
that picture. It's like they took her ass and put it on her chest. It's so ridiculous. Do you see?
Now that's all I'm going to be able to mentally picture.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah,
Well,
I
good.
just see
I
boobs.
ruined everybody's Wonder Woman. That's what you get, DC.
Now, Megan, I know you're kind of an expert on manga and how are women in manga presented differently than women in American comics.
Well, yeah. I mean, like with American comics, you have this kind of iconic character, and they do have similar characters in manga and anime. But they also have just regular girls. They have girls that young girls can be like, oh, like I've been through this, and the characters they always grow. Like that, like let's say like for Shigeyugi, one of my favorite, which is so lame, but I love it anyways. To deal with it. But like the girl is just like, oh, I like to eat. I'm so whiny. Blah, blah, blah. But she kind of turns into this character that's like like strong and like cares about her friends, and it's like there's always like about like a growth. And Angela brought up a point with like Wonder Woman, like all these women, they just stay in place. They're just this. No
They're
matter
already
what time
developed.
they
You don't
are.
have to deal with the messy part of
Yeah.
them like coming into their own. It's just like no, let's not deal with that. There they
Yeah.
are.
And also with Japanese comics, I mean, they're written for women. I mean, like if you go to any anime con, you'll see it's so many chicks. Like guys, if you want to get the ladies, go for the manga because they're all about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's so much stuff out there. There's so many girly comics. Like there's an actual genre. Like if you think of like American comics, like what can you think of like that's like geared to women? There's nothing. Like there really isn't anything. Like all the women characters, they're just boring. They're like in tight clothes, whatever. You know what I mean?
Calling something girl comics doesn't necessarily make it for girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just means you're
exactly.
branding it.
Just
It's just
because
like, it's like, oh,
Spider,
girls on there. That means you gotta read it.
and the thing, the worst thing is like Spider Woman. It's like, oh, okay, you can come up with like a woman character that wasn't like Spider-Man.
Already, yeah.
Like, come on, that's so stupid. Like in Japanese comics, they always have new original characters. Sometimes it can get a little routine, like because there's so much stuff coming out. But like they have a lot of original stuff. Like look at like characters from like Ghost in the Shell, and you have like and then you've like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like yeah, I mean. There's so many great characters out there, especially female that are badass, that are hot, and like they don't have to
Strong,
compromise themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unlike American comics where they're always kind of stuck in the same place. Like Wonder Woman is the only one that's not like you think of Marvel, they're all on a team. Like in Japanese comics they have like teams of all women, there's like some goofy guy on the side. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
do that a lot. But I mean of course there's comics that are more like written for men as well. So but it's like they don't leave anything out. There's comics for everybody when it comes to manga. And when it comes to American comics for women, especially young girls. I mean, if a girl comes in the store and I'm like, hey, what are you guys looking to read? I'm like, how old are you? Like 14? I'm like, oh, I'll give you Runaways, because that's it. I can't really, that's the only thing I can give them. With manga, there is just like so, like I can, I could just name like 20 titles off the top of my head that are all for girls that are appropriate.
Right.
But they don't have anything.
So manga
Yeah.
has a more diverse group of female characters,
Yeah.
different body types, different backgrounds. Whereas
Yeah.
I can kind of get the feeling that looking at this with Marvel and DC, it's kind of like it's the same person but a different costume.
Yeah.
They just don't flush them out. They don't give them personalities. It's really just kind of pandering to the expectation of a group of individuals who are arrested in adolescence, and just can't move past that. You don't. Oh, gee.
That's the problem with DC. They've always been bad about that. It's just like I mean, even like I was looking at the bus that we have of just like the different DC female characters, and it's like the exact same woman. Just different hair color,
Different
different
boob
outfits.
sizes.
I'm going to say that's a pretty big.
The only different
problem.
boob size is
Power
Power
Girl.
Girls. That's it.
Just-
Everybody else has the same
Talk
bust.
about having a butt on your chest.
Yeah.
Power Girl. It's like
Yeah, that's
the
it.
worst.
It's I was watching oh god, what was it, the Batman Superman
Public
anime movie they
Enemies.
did, Public Enemies, and I watched it with my girlfriend. And when was it Power Girl? When she came down, she's just like, Superman, listen, and like, she's just like, really? This is what you're into? I'm like, I mean, they were like bigger than her head. Like it was just so.
It's comical.
You know, and why, with her boobs being that big, at any point did her character complain about the back problems that she's had?
Oh, she's super strong.
back can
but
take it.
Those are some super huge boobs.
Reinforced
you know?
spine.
I guess if you're super strong, you hold them up. But still, like, how does she get like her bras like fitted to wear so she can wear them underneath her suit or like?
Well, I
seriously,
was
are
thinking
they
that-
fake?
And
Actually-
they're not aerodynamic either, are they?
Yeah, like when
that
you
could be a
fly
problem
and
with
stuff,
Secret
it's just-
Identity too, because like that's not an everyday thing. Like,
boobs
hey,
that
were you at the
heavy.
bank in a cape?
You know what? She should wear
No.
glasses because that changes everything.
Oh yeah, glasses just make you invisible too.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like,
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
Yeah.
yeah. If I take these off right now, I actually grow a six-pack and I get like rippled. It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Where did William go?